afternoon. This is iPulse Live for April 25th, 2025. I'm Delaney Smith.
And I'm Allison Wallace. Pope Francis will be laid to rest tomorrow in Rome amid the worldwide outpouring of condolences on his passing. He was seen as a fierce advocate for the global poor, and Pope Francis also signaled more acceptance, if not outright changes in Catholic Church doctrine for same-sex couples.
The question now, will the next leader of the world's 1 billion Roman Catholics follow in his footsteps, or will church cardinals select a more conservative leader? The answer will wait. For now, a global audience prepares to say goodbye to Pope Francis. Lillian Carion has the latest.
4 days after his death, Pope Francis is lying in state inside of St. Peter's Basilica, one last day. Francis' coffin is near the tomb of St. Peter, the first pope. People we spoke with say they'll remember Francis for his outspoken advocacy for the poor and insistence on a more welcoming Catholic Church.
He is a person of people.
Final preparations are underway across Vatican City for Francis' funeral Saturday morning. Tens of thousands of people are expected to come into St. Peter's Square to witness the funeral service. Security will also be tight because at least 10 reigning monarchs and 50 heads of state of government will be attending, including President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, and French President Emmanuel Macron.
Once in a life, you have to see the Pope. I'm sorry that I didn't have the chance to see him before when he was alive.
People are not only flocking to the Vatican to pay their respects, but also to Basilica di Santa Maria di Maggiore, where Pope Francis chose to be laid to rest.
It's a beautiful church, and there's a priest inside that gives you a blessing. Just such reverency, and it's very moving.
About 50,000 people came to Benedict's funeral in 2023, while around 300,000 attended John Paul's in 2005.
From Rome to South Florida, reactions are pouring in following the death of Pope Francis. Reporter Guilherme de Domenico takes us to a local Catholic church for their perspective.
Pope Francis' loss is being felt throughout the world. At St. Jude Catholic Church in Boca Raton, they are reflecting this week on his impact.
I think he stood for a lot of hope and enlightenment into our newer generations. It gave us a spiritual, in a way that, focusing in refugees and standing for women empowerment, the divisions between countries and collaborating and bringing them together.
Pope Francis made a particular focus on the needs of the poor from the start of his papacy. The choice of his name, Francis, an early signal of his priorities, the saint who lived caring for the people.
He lived just as St. Francis, name he took as Pope. Certainly, St. Francis also served caring for the poor and those on the peripheries.
It is a sentiment being shared widely in this week following Pope Francis' death.
I would think his biggest legacy would be showing how being more of a down-to-earth Pope. I mean, he definitely shied away from aristocracy and more of really going with, the simplicity of life and appreciating, God's gift.
Reflections as Catholics and the wider world await his successor. Guilherme de Domenico, reporting for iPulse.
This week's victims of the Holocaust are being remembered across the United States in a wide range of services and community gatherings. The passage of time means a fast dwindling number of men and women who can recount that awful history firsthand.
Reporter Devin Jabelbis recently sat down with 3 Holocaust survivors who came to the Lynn University campus. They built their families and lives here and focused the remainder of their lives on ensuring all of us remember.
80 years have passed since the end of the Holocaust, but time stands still for survivors.
And when the Germans came in, of course, we had to wear the yellow star. Jews had to move into so-called Jew houses.
A time marked by unspeakable evil, cruelty, and violence. Dov Zucker, Mary Eckstein, and Linda Schwab talked with me at Lynn University. They recalled the start of Hitler's genocide in their homelands.
And the German officer looked at, I remember, I was 3.5. I remember he staring at me. I thought it was a river there. I thought he's going to throw me into the river, but he did not.
The Nazi gas chambers are central to the horror of the Holocaust. These 3 people endured other forms of suffering.
It was near a stream, I remember my mother telling me. And they dug a cave. I don't know how to explain it to you, but if you've seen the movie Defiance, they were called a Zimlanke. And we were in that Zimlanke for 18 months. 6 months at Alexander's, then 18 months, day and night and summer and winter, hungry, no clothes, cold all the time, scared. You just can't forget. Little children, you just can't forget that.
They tell their stories of pain and loss. They say they must.
We lived with no water, no electricity, no toilets, so we had to adjust. I had to go at the age of 4. I had to grow up. I have to be a man in the house.
They were massacring the people, shooting randomly. They had buckets of hot water they were throwing at them. They had the German police dogs bite them.
The unimaginable that became their nightmare. The pain that scarred them is a warning for all of us.
First of all, it shouldn't happen again. So we have to be aware of anti-Semitism, of killings of Jews. Even today, these days, it happens here in the United States.
What is it about me that I'm still here? And I realized because I was given a job, I have to tell what happened to us to make sure it's not going to happen again.
Survivors' stories, they pray, will endure forever. I'm Davindra Belbis, reporting for iPulse News.
We turn our attention now to a local outreach effort. We all have dreams and aspirations, but following them can be a challenge. One young man is trying to help high schoolers focus on their careers and futures, and he is doing it at a small workshop in Boca Raton. Reporter Lasekian has the story.
Daniel Miranda Duarte has a vision.
Everybody has a gift, it's just a matter of peeling it back.
He and a small team help high school students find their passion and purpose at this workshop.
Everyone here, everyone in this world has a mission because nothing is created without a purpose.
Sebastian Cannon is a high school junior finding his future here.
I wanted to become a dentist, and I want to help kids who are maybe in pain and help them get treatment done. So, they would want to come back to dentists. And also, while I'm a dentist, to show Christianity and show them the love of God.
Daniel is a residential assistant at Lynn University. His outreach effort is held at a Boca Raton Community Center, Propel Inc. High school junior Matthew Rodriguez says the workshop has calmed his anxiety about the future.
I've been stuck for a while, a lot of time thinking about what I'm gonna do. So this helped me make a plan to see what I'm gonna do later on. Helping others is something I really want to do, and maybe that could be with law or psychology, being a therapist.
Daniel uses his own birthday and Christmas gift money to help fund the project. Limited resources, but unlimited inspiration.
But everything I'm doing comes out of my pocket from the money that I've gained from working. But, we're a startup. We're trying it.
After finding their mission, the students ring a bell to celebrate.
My mission is completed.
Nothing beats seeing those smiles in their faces when they find their mission.
New horizons and new hopes, one young person at a time. I'm Lasekian reporting for iPulse.
School's almost out, summer is fast approaching, and that means more people are headed to the beach. But before you dive in, take a look at this. It is called Break the Grip of the Rip. Surviving a rip current's pull means staying calm and swimming parallel to the shore, either left or right, until you're out of the rip current. I went to the beach to talk ocean safety tips with 7-year Deerfield Beach lifeguard Derek Narkowicz.
Powerful, narrow, channels of fast-moving water can drag even the strongest swimmers out to sea. You're looking at one of them, 7-year lifeguard Derek Narkowicz.
It doesn't matter how good of a swimmer you are, the rip currents are always going to win. It's always so strong. Mother Nature will always overpower, and you can't compete with her.
Once you're in one, it's easy to panic, but fortunately, there is a way out.
Best scenario for them would be to go with the current out towards sea, away from the shoreline, and then go swim out, either left or right, towards the other shoreline, like away from the rip.
This past Easter weekend alone, Deerfield Beach lifeguards made more than a dozen rescues.
Over the weekend, Easter was Sunday, this last weekend, I think we've had over like 15 to 20 rescues easily. There's been a lot of rips with this east-southeast wind, what makes it a lot of rip currents here on the sandbars.
Always swim at beaches with lifeguards. They have the training and equipment to save lives.
The lifeguard will go down, grab the hard can, and jump into the rip to where the victim is, swim out to the victim, and hand them the hard can. Tell them everything's gonna be all right. So when I go identify a rip on the beach, I'll go grab my shovel and this flag, and I'll go set it up and usually mark the rip.
How can you do your part to help lifeguards keep you safe? Always check the flags posted at the lifeguard towers.
You can go up to the lifeguard tower. We have the water conditions on the back of the tower. Tells you the water temperature, the tides, if there's any marine, like dangerous marine life. The red flag obviously is not good swimming day, no swimming at all. Yellow flag is like medium hazard, 1 to 2 foot chop. You can still get in the water, but still a little choppy. And green flag is good swimming day.
And the number one rule?
Number one rule, ocean safety, is if in doubt, don't go out. And always respect and listen to the lifeguard when he tells you something on the beach.
So again, as you look at this graphic with me, it is important to know the water and respect the current. Again, stay safe by always swimming near a lifeguard, never swimming alone, checking beach flags and posted conditions, and like always, if in doubt, don't go out. Stay safe this summer season.
Now, over to our weatherman, Noah Barkley, for this week's weather. Noah?
Hello, my name is Noah Barkley, and thank you very much for your introduction. Recently, we did have our first hurricane forecast come out from the National Weather Service, AccuWeather, and Colorado State University. The first one will be here from AccuWeather. 13 to 18 named storms are possible for this upcoming hurricane season. 7 to 10 hurricanes, 3 to 5 major hurricanes, which is a little bit above average. 3 to 6 direct U.S. impacts, which could mean we could have a good amount, a handful of landfalls. Hopefully that's not the case, but that is the projection. Over here, Colorado State University projection, 17 named storms, 9 hurricanes, 4 major hurricanes, and they have an extra thing, 85 days with an active storm. So they're getting pretty specific with that, but overall the general consensus is that it is going to be a little bit more active than usual. Last year, of course it was an active year, we had very strong storms. Would expect this year to be pretty much just as active. Hopefully, of course, it goes below that. We don't want activity of hurricanes, but we'll have to wait and see. But this is the initial forecast that we're going to have. Some things to watch as we go into the hurricane season. We want to watch for Saharan dust, how that's going to be. Saharan dust prevents hurricanes from forming because it cools down the water, makes the sea surface temperature a lot cooler. El Nino, La Nina, they are in a neutral year this year. So it's going to be strange with the lack of wind shear because usually when there's El Nino or La Nina in the Pacific, it brings wind shear, or in the Atlantic brings wind shear. That's not going to be a thing this year, at least as of right now. Maybe in October, but it's going to be an interesting year. And again, those sea surface temperatures might be affected by that. On to the next radar image. You can see currently we don't have anything going on as for rain. We have a little bit going on over here. You can see there's up over by Mississippi, the Alabama, that area, there is a little bit of rain going on, some thunderstorms. Nothing by Florida. As you'll see right now in the 7-day forecast, it is going to be a very nice week. On the next image, we have some sun going up until Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday, some clouds do start to come in. It gets into the low 80s, mid 80s, 83, 84. Again, it stays low to mid really much in the entire week. It's a little high, 86, 85 on Sunday and Monday. But really, that is the highest it's going to go this week. I am Noah Barkley. Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
We want to turn our focuses now on dreams on the diamond. Bahamian baseball coach Anthony Seymour once played in the minor league ranks for the Miami Marlins and the Atlanta Braves.
Now he spearheads the ANF Baseball and Prince Jazz X organizations. Swanson Gibson Jr. says it's a chance to shape the stars of tomorrow.
Coach Anthony Seymour is developing and mentoring the next generation of baseball talent in the United States and the Bahamas. Seymour, a native of Nassau, Bahamas, and a former professional baseball player, has transitioned to coaching, helping enhance the skills of youth to compete at the next level.
I learned almost everything on my journey. You know, I never really had a coach, or I never really had a mentor, I never really had a dad who could have prepared me for what's to come in baseball or what's it like at the next level.
11-year-old Max Drysdale talks about the guidance he's received from Coach Seymour and Major League Baseball aspirations.
I've been playing baseball since I was like 5, and being trained by Anthony has been like really fun because he's been teaching me stuff that I've never learned before. Staying on top of the ball and keep my chest big, and when I'm fielding, stay in front of it. I hope to be in the MLB. I just need to like train really hard and work consistently.
Bahamian talent Manny Taylor and Brian Johnson added their perspective.
Almost everything has been improved since I've been training with him actually, and it's been really good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to playing college now, and just happy to go towards that new journey.
The impact he's had on me has been a very great impact. He's helped me with my swing. He's helped me get in shape, staying in shape. We talk a lot of more mental side of baseball. It's really helped me.
Seymour also spoke about launching the Prince Jazz X team in tandem with MLB All-Star Jazz Chisholm Jr. and MLB scout Dominic Cawley Jr.
We want to be able to help every kid, even if it's just an experience, you know, just being able to just allow us to coach you guys, if it's for a weekend, if it's for anything. Just all goes back to us just wanting to help kids and just pay the way forward.
Coach Seymour and the Prince Jazz X team will showcase their talents throughout the summer.
We're going to 2 events, both Scout Team and the Prince Jazz X, in May. The first one's May 9th. The second one is like May 28th. Both teams will also play in an event in June and July.
For more information, you can contact Coach Seymour via the ANF Baseball and Prince Jazz X Instagram pages. Reporting for iPulse News, I'm Swanson Gibson Jr.
NIL, name, image, and likeness deals. Some college athletes have been making big money, but the whole concept has been controversial. Mitchell Kale and Noah Barclay share their thoughts, including the latest on former Tennessee quarterback.
Today, we're going to talk about arguably a topic that has created quite a stir in both the NCAA community as well as pro sports in general, and that is the NIL program.
I firmly believe, your face is being used on a video game cover, magazine, you name it.
Yeah.
You absolutely deserve to be paid for that. Now, the issue is that it's being abused.
I think I know who you're going to bring up.
Yeah, Nico Iamaleava.
Yeah.
He wanted $4 million from Tennessee.
That's crazy.
Yeah, $4 million. He wanted to get that money.
Mhm.
And like he was using that to stay. And they had a good team last year, and he was prepared to sit out of the college football playoffs last year if he didn't get the NIL money.
Oh,
And-
wow. I didn't know it was like that. He didn't want to, like, he was going to sit out if he didn't get the money.
Yeah, and eventually after the playoffs ended and the season ended, that's what he wanted. So he risked it. Told them, "I'm not playing." Pretty much said, "I'm not playing until I get this
Until he gets
NIL
the
money."
money.
Yeah. Well, he didn't get the money. They release him. He goes to UCLA, and they give him way less.
And it's like only go to the school for the money. So
Mhm.
I think that NIL is like blurring the line between like college athletes and like pro athletes,
Mhm.
because it's just like kind of they get paid. Some NIL like people in the NIL program, they could get paid more than like pro players. So I don't think that's right. And with that being said, I'm Mitchell and this is Noah, and we are signing off.
As the school year comes to an end, the Lynn University Fashion Club organized the last show of the year, where they collaborated with local brands to showcase the latest spring trends. I had the opportunity to be there. The Lynn Spring Fashion Show was a huge success with exciting spring looks, including pastels, florals, linens, and much more. This show was run by Lynn students and the producers of the Fashion and Retail Association board members. This event featured a local boutique, mixology, and alumni-owned brand, Breeze Sea Swimwear.
Yes, hi, I'm Stacy Siegel, the manager of Mixology Boca. And we provided looks for the Lynn Fashion Show that really inspire confidence. Beautiful color tones, really pretty florals, things that just make everybody feel good and feminine and like welcoming spring. I mean, we carry a multitude of brands and we use all different fabrications. I mean, there's obviously for spring, there's a lot of linen and gauze and cotton and just easy fabrics to work with that fit any body type. Our motto and our mantra is like build, inspire confidence.
There were 23 models involved with this spring fashion showcase.
So I wore this outfit from Mixology. It was like a two-piece kind of navy sweater top with this white bottom. It gives kind of like Italian coast vibes, and it was really, very cute to wear. All the looks that they choose are just, fun, easy, summer sort of styles that, you could wear to the beach, resort, just kind of multi-purpose wear.
With these events, I have to say, I sit back and let the students' talents shine. And then that makes me happy. And they're worried about, this song, or, she didn't stop here, or look, her strap fell down. I hope she's not going to, have a runway moment. But everything was perfect this evening. And Mother Nature brought us a beautiful breeze, which made it even better.
The fashion shows produced by Lynn are always so well executed and a sight to see. I'm Allison Wallace reporting for iPulse News. Lynn students and professors are coming together tonight for a wonderful theatrical performance called Celebration of the Arts.
I saw yesterday's show and it blew my mind. And today they are getting ready again for another spectacular performance. It's a collaboration of talent from students and professors coming together to produce and perform a great night of theater. The two-day event was yesterday and this evening. We talked with the director of the show, Adam Simpson.
We have a lot of people. We have a whole bunch of crew members. We have, there's one standing right there. She just walked up. So, no, it's great. Everybody comes together, works hard, and helps in all areas.
It was so entertaining. All the visuals, costumes, music, everything was just perfect.
Stay tuned for next week's broadcast where our reporter Lillian Carrion gives us more insight on this event. Once in a while, we get to revisit a story we've covered.
And guess what? The Vegetable Orchestra is back. Here's the latest.
Welcome again to the London Vegetable Orchestra, featured last week on iPulse. Patrick Jones plays the trombone, but in the Vegetable Orchestra plays the rutabaga, a root. Tim Cranmore is a professional recorder maker and he plays the carrot recorder.
I've been making recorders professionally for about 45 years. And I'm the only recorder maker in England. And a friend of mine rang me up about 10 years ago and said, have you seen a man in Japan who makes recorders out of carrots? Do you think you could do that? And of course I said in my pride, yes, of course I can. And we did a little video and that was recorded and went out on YouTube. And before you know it, people were asking us to do advertising campaigns and we were on the television and it took off after that.
What were the reactions of friends and family when you started? You said, I'm going to make a vegetable orchestra.
Well, they knew I was mad anyway. My children knew I was embarrassing, so it didn't make any difference, really. Yeah, I think that when we were on the television, when we've been on the television about 4 or 5 times, then they started to take notice and think that maybe we were a bit cooler than they thought we were in the beginning, if you know what I mean.
Tim is a professional recorder maker and has the specialist expertise to turn a humble carrot into one of these beautiful instruments. I received this one in the post this morning. I'm very excited. Been recording on it today. And the rest of the instruments, like I have a Swede here, which I've sort of hollowed out, and then make a carrot mouthpiece. Then you can shove that in there. So then you can alter the pitch. I'm a trombone player as well, so you'll understand. You alter the pitch by buzzing.
Do you have to make any kind of special addition in the carrot to make it sound the way it sounds?
People are always asking me, where do you get the carrots from? Are they organic? I say, no, they're not organic. They're industrial carrots produced in an industrial way. So they're nice and straight and thick, and there's no bends or curves or bits of gravel in them. And that's quite important, because if I was making a recorder out of a tree, this is a recorder that I actually made out of a tree. You have to know that the wood is very, very uniform, and you have to know where the tree comes from and how dry the wood is. A carrot, of course, is wet, and as soon as you cut holes in a carrot, it starts getting drier. So you have to keep the carrot happy by keeping it wet.
Is there any instrument you thought it was going to be great? Like a vegetable you wanted to use? You thought it was going to be a great instrument, but it didn't come like you expected?
I have to go to the shops and get carrots. And the people in the supermarket, sometimes they point at me, as if to say, oh, that's the man who's always at the carrots. And the thing is that I've got about a 50% failure rate. I don't know why. So about half of the ones I make just won't work, and they go in the compost.
Is there a deeper meaning behind the vegetable orchestra?
Well, I think it just shows that if you want to make music, you can create a completely new way of doing it.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Delaney Smith.
And I'm Allison Wallace. We are wishing you a wonderful weekend.